Okay, so here I am. Final little details. Oh, this needs to be behind. There we go. Something like that. But fighting game developers at this point, if they actually really want to get out to a casual audience, what you do isn't dumb down mechanics. That can help. But if you want to appeal to casuals while still like helping or catering to your hardcore player base, the people that are going to keep playing this fighting game, the people that are going to go attend the tournaments and buy the DLC and support the game, what you do to get more casuals in to turn them into those fighters is give them fun shit to do in the game. Granblue versus RPG mode, I think, is one example. The new Dragon Ball FighterZ Arena mode matches, I think, is another great example. Dude, I had so much fun messing around with all the different game modes that twisted the game into special mode things. Just like, yo, dude, let's play like this crazy whack stuff. Just like opening up these avenues to tweak the game's rules and do redonkulous bonkers stuff with it, I think is like huge. If you look at Smash as a fighting game, it's a casual game first, a fighting game second. Now, Nintendo's finally addressing their fighting game community with it, doing balance patches and all that kind of stuff, and trying to listen more to that part of the community. But people looked and they found a casual game that had like all of these unlimited rules, and they found a way to strip it down and to develop a competitive scenario for it. So because of that, Smash is huge because anybody can go play Smash. Anybody can go pick it up, go have fun with it, not worry about it. It's a very simple game to pick up because there's not a lot of crazy combo stuff to do with it. There are combos in it. There are some really crazy things you can do. But when you get to a higher level, that's where those things matter. But you can just sit down and play Smash Bros. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. You can't really do that with like vanilla Dragon Ball FighterZ. I say vanilla, I mean like the current patch Dragon Ball FighterZ. You can't really do that with like Guilty Gear Xrd Rev 2 because there really aren't those outlets to have it. There aren't these like fun, crazy modes that just tweak things to let you do random, crazy stuff that looks cool, that's really fun, whatever. But like when you have the arena mode now for Dragon Ball FighterZ, I think that's really cool. I think that's really cool. Yeah, vanilla was brutal for beginners. My more point was like just playing the game itself. There was no really great way for a casual to just jump in and play this. There absolutely wasn't. I'm going to go ahead actually add chat. We're going to add like chat right there. Shrink it down a little bit. But because of that, there isn't like the space for you to just have fun, to just do wacky things, just to make cool things happen. And because of that, that turns people away because you can't just pick it up, play it, and do cool things with your brain turned off. You got to like turn your brain on and learn how to do some of the cool things in there. So, there's always like that time it takes, of course, with the fighting game to kind of learn things, kind of mess around and figure what moves string together. But I mean, like playing in a mode where you can just like fight over like the Dragon Balls like immediately, like hey, there's all 7, go summon Shenron. I think that's really funny. I think having a game mode where the whole system mechanics are changed, where everything ground bounces, you move super fast, all this extra stuff. You get just like infinite stuff to play around with. You get all kinds of, just infinite meter spam too in another game mode. I think that's the really cool thing to do. I think that's what's going to that's what would lend this a more casual thing, is if you could create that environment where people could, were encouraged almost because of some of the game modes to get together, do wacky things, have wacky stuff happen, and have it look cool all at once. And then to further facilitate that, go to online. You need that online netcode to be as strong as it can be through Rollback, so that your people who don't go out to events and go out to tournaments don't get frustrated because of lag. I play Call of Duty, and that shit got really laggy back on like my old ass internet back in in the mid 2010s. Actually it was like late 2010s. Early 2010s is when I was playing that. So that's stuff that happened, and it's always frustrating like that. And that's why it's so important for people to have like these really good internet connections. But if you want people to keep coming back, if you want people to play casually, having that decent online because everybody's living in their own places. Everybody is, coming on home, wanting to unwind from the day by themselves or with their partners, whatever. And they want to go online and play something. And they're going to play what really works for them. They're going to go play League of Legends. They're going to go play CSGO. They're going to go play Call of Duty. They're going to play all these online games that have a huge community where they can play with a whole bunch of their friends at once. And the connection feels really great. Dragon Ball FighterZ, you can't get 6 people together to play party match modes and do the crazy stuff where you're all playing together because the connection would be garbage. 9-frame delay with like people living in the same state, 6 people in 2020? That's ridiculous. You could probably pull that off with Rollback Netcode though. I'm not entirely sure. That's where I'm going to plead the fifth and be like, I don't know what the limits of that netcode are for fighting games, and I don't know where it's applied for various other games. I don't know if it's the industry standard for like most online gaming right now. I just don't. So, but you can improve that online experience by actually developing a strong netcode. So if you do that, you can then, incentivize people to play because they're not going to have a bad online experience of all this wacky frame delay, all these sour connections, not finding a good match. It's like every match is good. Every match is good. Every match has great connections. Everyone who plays Rollback is always talking about it. Maximilian just pointed out that he played some Skullgirls, and he played with this guy, a viewer from Singapore. And, on net play delay, it was like they were, a house apart. Like that's the equivalent of their connection. That's the power of Rollback Netcode. And fighting game developers need to take that shit seriously because this generation is moving more and more to online. And if you can support that, you can then keep people in your community, keep people playing your games because that's what they were going to do. If they want to get matchup experience, if you're playing a small scene and you don't have a particular guy who plays this character, you're not going to get any kind of experience. You got to play matches online then to make it up, but that the quality is going to vary, and it's like, what the hell do you do? Put this on Twitter, bro. Preach. Yeah, no, exactly. No, I'm going to clip this. I'm going to clip this mini rant, post it to YouTube, share it around a bit. But that's what it is, because there's so many advantages to it. And again, like, being able to have those fun, crazy party modes where you and your friends can get together and do wild shit. Imagine, like, the 6 of us, Rusty, getting together in Dragon Ball FighterZ, playing a party match mode, so 3v3, we're all swapping in characters. Those are always fun. But imagine that on, like, a netcode that could support that, where it felt like we were all playing on, like, the same console kind of a thing, and then throw in, like, wild game modes. Dude, if you did stuff like that as a fighting game developer, people would play the hell out of your stuff. That's how you increase your casual audience. That's how you get more people to buy your game and to play this shit. By giving them that fun, casual outlet and being able to have that online come on through. That's the light of enlightenment right there, baby. That's how you make that happen, is through that effort. I'm going to go turn that timer even more off, dude. It's so bright out for like 7 o'clock. This is beautiful. But that's what you really got to do. None of this simplifying so many game mechanics. I do think that, at some point, though, for a fighting game, it makes sense to not have too many crazy-ass mechanics. Maybe you can, like, change a couple of those things there. But for a fighting game, the people that are going to come back, the people that are going to spend money on DLC, those are the hardcore gamers. You want to expand your audience, you got to make things accessible for a casual, and you got to make things fun for a casual by giving them casual things to do. Again, that's why Smash is so successful, is because it was a casual game first, and then people found a way within its parameters to make it competitive. And then they developed it, too, because there was actually a system in place that, that worked. And they discovered mechanics and things, and they found ways to shape it towards that. Fighting games can't engineer like that to build for the casual first and then do it like that. But they can build for the competitor first and then find ways to tweak things and open up different adjustments and stuff to then make it more accessible to the casuals. And you have to be able to have that online because you're competing with every single other online game out there. And if your online can't keep up with the League of Legends, the Call of Duties, CSGO, Sea of Thieves is one I can think of. I'm trying to think of like any other games out there that have like online that allow people to play. Monster Hunter, I guess. You have to compete with all of those experiences. You absolutely have to. Otherwise, people, they're not going to, when they look between the games they want to play, when you cut to that casual player, we say, and they look, it's like, COD Warzone, Fortnite, thank you for the reminder. when you sit down and look at it, it's like, okay, well, what game do I want to play? Do I want to play Dragon Ball FighterZ or do I want to play Call of Duty Warzone? Okay, well, I can barely get a good match in Dragon Ball FighterZ. I drop all my stuff because there's, the frame delay gets way too varied. I remember playing this one guy last night, and it was really bad, and I just couldn't handle that one. I dropped this combo. I lost a game because of lag. That is the worst feeling you can ever give a player, is that when a lag issue in your game causes them to lose. Now, you can't avoid it all the time. Shit happens. But with a good netcode, you can limit it so much that it's such a rare occurrence that they're like, all right, but when it's, okay, they let it go. But when it's a consistent thing because your netcode is so shit, they're going to be like, why the hell do I want to play that when I could just play this instead? I don't lag in this game. That's going to be something that comes up to it. Maybe they have more, other kinds of experiences, but everybody hates lag. You can't have that one. And everybody, hates not being able to play with their friends. I can't play with people in like California or East Coast, pretty much, with fighters because the netcode is that shit. Hell, people in the same state as Double L can't play with him because the connection is so whack for whatever reason. Like, come on. If your netcode is so bad that you can't even reliably get a reliable connection with a person in your same state, like, your game isn't going to be bought by a casual because they want to play their games with their friends. They want to be able to do shit with their friends online. Have that option at the very least. And have it be a fun, good experience that isn't hampered by lag. So every single fighting game developer needs to check themselves on that and realize that's like the huge thing. And I'm hoping that they really start to turn around on it this year with how EVO is having to be run and with EVO's choices for what online games are going to be played. And I hope that a few of the players, too, because we're going to have some exhibition matches for some ARCs, for some of the main title games that aren't going to be run anymore for tournaments. I hope that some people comment, like players comment like, dude, like, this could have been way more fun, like, they put that pressure on that developer. Like, because I'll tell you this, if Riot Games drops their League of Legends fighter and it's got rollback netcode, competition's done. Like, everybody and their mother will play that game. Everybody and their mother would play that fighting game. Everybody. And everybody would have to compete with that. Everybody would have to compete with that. And if you don't have that, if you can't compete with it, you're going to lose players to it. Just straight up like that. Because players that aren't loyal to a brand, aren't loyal to this, aren't a signed competitor for that, whatever, they're going to look at what game is the most fun for them to play. And if that's the game, they're going to go there. Simple as that. Demon Killer joins me. Hello, brother. I'm in the middle of a rant.
Hello. Hello.
Some of the biggest games don't last because of lack of online models, just like you said. MK are huge sellers. They would make more money if the casuals were still in ranked or casuals. Exactly, yeah. But the netcode is so bad that, like, it's not going to be a thing. They're going to go play other things that don't have these network issues. Not to mention, too, that, like, shout-outs to Riot, or not Riot Games. I was thinking that because I talked about League. But shout-outs to Arc System Works for not monetizing as much as they could with the Dragon Ball franchise. Alternate costumes, new stages. Dude, like, Grand Blue dropped new stages, and you had to pay money for that shit. Where the hell is that for Dragon Ball? Yeah, exactly. I want people to play fighting games, too, Rusty. I want people to play fighting games, too. Because when you go out to that tournament experience, it's fun and it's great, but and I was in these shoes before. Going out to your first event is a nerve-wracking experience. You're expecting people to shit-talk you. You're expecting people to judge you for how well you play. Like, all that stuff. Like, it's a scary thing to do your first time out until you, like, get involved with the community and until you find a community that welcomes you, until you get to know those players. It's scary. But, it wouldn't be as scary, I think, if you could meet people online like that. Get that experience first and then see what it's like at your locals and develop yourself like that. But it would start online. So I really hope that if people listen to this video or if the world just says what I'm saying, which a lot of it's trying to, that the people that need to hear it, and that they actually listen. So there you go. That's my Sajam soapbox for this stream. Let's go back to this.